I'm back. We got some lettuce, that kind of lettuce today. We're gonna plant some of that, some romaine lettuce. I'm gonna plant some Swiss chard. I'm gonna plant some more kale, and going to plant some okra. This is the company here that these seeds aren't the best. I ain't gonna lie, but the okra have produced last year, so we're gonna use these. And then we have some organic red oak leaf lettuce, same company. These other seeds here, I bought these locally here. So I'm gonna start off with, I think, the oak leaf lettuce. Yep, we're gonna start off with the oak leaf lettuce. I just checked to see if the Starlink was doing good. It says 99.9%. So yeah, see how we these in the pot or the pots trays a bit earlier. I had a phone call, got distracted, and as you can see, these are drying out already. So we're gonna put a little bit more. Let's move these seeds first. Lots of layoffs, or am I bugging? I think they just said Nike getting ready to lay off a lot of people. I mean, are jobs safe out there? This is my job right here. My job is to make sure I can eat and my family if they're here. You know, this is job, but is your job safe out there? Because I mean, Nike, the major company, no? I like to wet the soil before I start planting. Just to. And then we're gonna start off with the organic red oak leaf lettuce. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me in the chat, please? Can you let me know if you can hear me in the chat? Please, thank you so much. We're growing some red with this red oak leaf lettuce. We're going to go to the mixed lettuce. We're going to do that. We're also going to do some romaine lettuce. Okay. We're going to do some chard. We're going to plant some kale. We're also going to plant some okra, spineless okra. And yeah, so this right here is the mesclun lettuce mix. We're going to start off with that. And we already planted some catnip and rosemary in this tray right here. So now we're moving on to the lettuce, and we like to put our holes. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me? MK18 said hi. What's going on? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear? Nice. Can you hear me? So I'm going to put the holes in here just so we have somewhere to put the seeds. We're planting these in the last 4 trays. We're going to put two different lettuces in each. So we'll do half of it lettuce, the other half the red leaf lettuce. So the one half will be the regular lettuce, the other half will be, okay, yes, we can hear. It's going to be the mesclun mixed lettuce, and the other half is going to be the red oak leaf lettuce, and we're going to do that for the rest of them. I'm hearing about a lot of job layoffs out there. Is your job secure? Is your job safe? I'm hearing about possibly another shutdown because of some new virus or something. I don't know much about it. I did see, because we don't get local news here, I do get to look at it online, but I haven't really heard much about it. Is it that serious? You think it'll be another COVID situation? Nike's laying off a bunch of workers. And tomatoes. Definitely got some tomatoes over here. Got some tomatoes up there in the bed growing as well, but we also, I think we have some tomatoes. So it's really important that the job is secure out there. And if you got some money put to the side, you know, can you buy some soil and flower pots, and most importantly, go get you some seeds. You know, I'm just realizing that buying all heirloom seeds. I didn't know that. Salute to my family who was about. So we just putting our holes in here now so we can insert our seeds and lightly cover them up with some soil so they can breathe and actually sprout. But yeah, I'm not trying to get caught. You know, COVID came, having the line of grocery store, and let's just be honest, COVID came, it was really scary. People were dying and we didn't understand it. And then, you know, it kind of became but initially it was scary, and the thought of even going to the grocery store, and every time we get back from the grocery store, we was jumping in the shower, we taking all the clothes off, we putting them in the washer and dry. I mean, the washer and everything. It was just crazy. But I guess what I'm trying to get here is we had to go into an establishment to get our food, and that just didn't feel. Something just felt off about that. It didn't feel like there was any type of security there. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that I'm prepared if there's anything like that ever again. And what's it called? A Hana virus or something like that? So about the COVID, like, where are you gonna like all the seeds and stuff? We put the seeds right here in the trays, and you can hold on to your seeds. You don't gotta plant them right now. Just put them in a cool, dry place. And when it's time to plant, I would suggest planting now. It's May. I live in the tropics, so it's always warm here. So we're gonna start with the mesclun or mesclun, MESCLUN mix, mesclun mix lettuce. This is what we're gonna start with. This looks like a mixture of a couple different things. This don't look like just no lettuce. How this got mixed in like that. I know what the lettuce looks like, so we're gonna definitely use that. But I don't know how this got mixed in. This looks like, I can't even remember what that seed looks like, but it's definitely not lettuce. So we're gonna put 2 seeds per hole. 2 seeds per hole. Use some romaine after this for the other half of the tray. 5, so it's 10 rows. We're gonna use 5 rows for this type of lettuce, 5 rows for the romaine lettuce. I don't know how these seeds got mixed. I'm really, nobody handles the seeds with me. So I don't know how the hell I did that, or when I did that, or this. And we should probably get some sprouts of this in the next 3 to 4 days, and then they'll be ready to be transplanted in probably a couple weeks. We have some arugula right here, whole bunch of arugula. Says, oh no, I don't really know what happens. COVID, like I've never seen COVID and don't know what happens. So in 2020, March and April, you didn't see all of that stuff going on in the news where people was being hooked up to ventilators and started over in Wuhan, China. You don't remember that? If you don't remember that, then wow. I don't know how old you are, but that was 6 years ago. And although I was in a really good location to do COVID because I was in the desert where, you know, we had the partition between the, we could lay out at the pool and all that stuff. In the city where I was living, that wasn't pleasant to be in them apartment buildings on top of one another because they shut the city down. You couldn't go to the beach. You couldn't go hiking. It was a disaster. I don't think it would be here. And even if it was like that here, I'm on this land where I can go out and grab my own food any day of the week. So it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter to me. Of course, I would like to do things, but as long as I can eat, which is what we all have to do every day, that's the main focus, is to be able to provide your own food, void of all the chemicals and pesticides and stuff like that. Because who knows what they're putting in that food, and who knows? Who knows? And this is right up my alley. I would have never thought 10 years ago that I'd be out here planting some food on my, off grid. Never. I knew I wanted some land somewhere. I just didn't know where. And I didn't have any vision back then about what I wanted to do with the land. I just said I wanted to have some land in the international territory. And it happened. And it all happened. COVID kind of made me speed up the thought process of doing it. And then watching certain movies that put fear in you or make it seem like the grid is going to shut down, that was another determining factor. And now with everything going on in Iran, and it's just uncertainty, right? A lot of uncertainty. And the moment they want to pull a rug from under your feet, you're done. You're at the mercy of them. They deliver, it's their grocery stores. It's all, everything. If you don't own it, then it's not yours. You can't really control it. It's not a good feeling, especially when you have to feed yourself. You got to go somewhere else to get your food. It just doesn't sit well with me no more. I'm not opposed to the grocery store. I will go to the grocery store and get me something to eat. I'm not opposed to the grocery store. But just in case, now when everything is growing here, I'll just go to the grocery store for the bare necessities that we need. When everything is here growing, I mean, the mangoes are already percolating, and papayas, they'll probably be dripping by the end of the year. They take 9 months to a year to start bearing fruit. Coconuts are already mature. The only tree that I wish I didn't prune, which is the avocado. Now we don't have any avocados here, which is one of my favorite fruits. So we do have a tree here that's mature. We just had to cut it down or cut it back a lot so it can grow back even better and more full. So we got that half done. And if I could go back and do it over, I wouldn't have cut that because they were really good. They were the avocados that had the red flesh on the outside. I mean, not red flesh. You know how they become green, and when they ripen, they may change colors. Well, mine I forget what color they were before they got off the tree, but once they started to ripe, they turned this color, they turned a reddish color. It was, I've never seen that before. Okay, so we've done the mesclun mix. I'm gonna sit there right here so we don't lose focus of what we planted. Now we're going to red oak leaf lettuce. You guys see all this arugula over here. Not all, but we're gonna have to this is all arugula. And we got cilantro, butternut squash, zucchini, several different squashes, cantaloupe. I mean, they do have seeded watermelons here all around. I love seeded watermelons. I don't really do any melons without seeds. But it's time to start growing our own watermelons so we don't have to pay the amount that they charge for these melons here, which is, I'm gonna pay for it anyway because I don't really care. Melons are melons. I love melons, and it's more so an investment into my health as opposed to an expense. But it's time to start growing our own. We don't have to worry about that expense anymore. Okay, so now we're doing the other half. Any of y'all out there gardening, growing your own food? Any of y'all out there farming? Give me some tips if you have any. I'm always open to learning more. I didn't go to school for any of this. I was a drug dealer, a petty drug dealer, and I got caught every time I tried to sell it. And so that was really bad. But that's what I spent my childhood or my young adulthood doing that type of negativity until I got tired of surrendering myself to the state. And after that, I kind of was working in retail and I did loan officer type work. And then I started to be a real estate investor. I started to invest in real estate, and I was good at that. I've done some bad deals, but I was good at that. I was not good at selling drugs, but that's what I was doing in my younger days. No farming, no gardening, none of that stuff. In fact, we've never had a garden at my house when I was younger. That's just not something that we was into. And now I'm out here on a whole farm with 30 plus mango trees. I don't know how many probably in the teens with the coconuts, palms. Most of the coconuts here, well, not most, because we planted a whole bunch more, but a lot of the coconuts are producing here. We just want to have enough to where we can go out and grab something any day of the year and not have to worry about anything. We want to be able to eat every day. We want to be able to go out in the garden and grab some kale every day if we want, some chard, some lettuce, tomatoes, without having to go to the grocery store. We want to be able to do these things every day, void of a third party. And most importantly, to not spray any pesticides or all of that. We don't want to put none of that on our food. And the pests are bad here. But since I'm not doing this for commercial purposes, I'm not trying to save any money and I'm not trying to produce any kind of yield to make money. So it's really about making sure that we have the freshest food we could possibly grow that is the least compromised. We use rainwater for our garden, or we'll use well water for the garden. I'm kind of losing my focus when it comes to where I am with these. So maybe a couple of them I have a little bit more. That's okay. All right. Yeah, I would have been out here, but I had a phone call and that took me a little time. That's another video I would like to do. It's really, oh man, I can't even talk right now. So I like to put 2 seeds per hole in case one of them don't germinate and sprout. I'm just using a leaf to kind of pick up the seeds. They're and my hands don't really them the right way. And it likes to, if my hands are a little very warm out here, it's in the 90s today. It's been in the 90s for the last couple weeks. No rain, just a small sprinkle yesterday. Was it yesterday morning? It was a sprinkle and it stopped. Like I had woke up, the sky had started to break some light. And I heard the rain. I'm like, oh crap. So I leave my bone. I'm like, oh, let me grab my boots. And then I get out there, I grab them and it stops. Probably a few minutes later. Okay, so we have the organic red oak leaf lettuce been planted. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna cover them up lightly with a little soil. So that way we don't plant them, it's not too deep and they don't have a problem sprouting and able to find some light, because you plant them too deep and you cover them too deep, you don't get what you're supposed to get from them. Oh, he said I was born in 16, so you was a young fella. Oh no, I understand. Oh yeah, young fella, you young. How you able to watch my chat? I said I didn't want no children in here. I mean, you here, you learning, cool. I appreciate it. Problem with you learning, I'm not doing anything illegal, but I did check. You must be lying on your profile and got your thing set to 18 years old. Anyhow, so I'm gonna cover the holes up now. So you was only 4 years old when COVID came, man. So we're gonna cover them up lightly. Bam. Put a little bit of soil in the hole, just enough, just a tad bit. You put too much on there, the seeds aren't going to be able to protrude. So you want to put just a tad bit, just enough to cover them up. And that's the key. Just a tad bit, just enough to cover them up. You cover them up too much, they're not going to come through. You're going to be wondering why your seeds aren't. You're going to think it's your seeds. That's what I was thinking initially when I first started planting. I was planting the seeds too deep. I was coming up. So I was wasting seeds really. But that was experience and education came out of that. So while it was a loss, it wasn't a loss and a lesson. It was both. So we just prepping for the food shortage that they keep talking about because of the Strait of Hormuz and the fertilizer and the lack of rain. And it's messy out there. Global warming, like it's messy outside. I don't be really understanding a lot of the stuff that's going on, but you hear it and it's like something your intuition tells you. Man, I gotta start growing some food. It's something. Because I've always liked being in the city, but it's something peaceful and quiet about being out here, being out the way, all right? Okay, so that's that half. I'm gonna do the rest. In a few days, we should get something on my live. That's crazy. Or young woman, whoever you are, girl, I'm not gonna boot you. I'm not gonna boot you out. Just like that. I'm gonna tell you why I don't need to put much on top of this when it comes to the soil because look what I did with the okra. The okra right here, right? And they were really just on top. And look what it happened. It came through. And this one here, the seed is actually on top right here. It wasn't even planted that deep, but it still has sprouted. You can't see it from that side. Now you can see the green. That's interesting. Wow. So you don't really have to plant them that deep. You just got to put them in just enough, cover them up just enough, and then spray them with a nice little mist. Hit them with some water, give them a little damp. You want to keep them damp. It's warm out here. Like I said, it's 90. You don't want to oversaturate it with water. You just don't want to do that. Just keep them light. Keep it light. Make sure that it's a little moist and damp, at least until they break and crack and germinate. And then once that's done, it's warm out here, so I hit them a little harder than what I usually do. It's hot. I mean, it's warm out here. The sun is moving that way now, so that tray is done. We're gonna hit the next light mist. Let's see these over here. I usually do that because if you put a hole in this, I would show you. It's just the sand. It's like the soil is so loose that if you hole in, it just collapses. So you gotta make it a little moist, and then you put your holes in there. And then the next ones we're gonna do are some romaine lettuce. Catnip. Takes time. But what else are we doing? This is work. This is how we work. We work. This is how we feed ourselves. I'll show you guys the let me show you guys these. I showed it earlier, but the video looks like they chopping that in half, and we're not gonna be able to get the whole thing. But this is the mango orchard over here. As you can see, all these mangoes are hanging from the tree. You can grab it. So we got about 30 something mango trees that are growing. Smells sweet. This is a really small one. You can see its indentation, so it's ripe. It's not sweet though. This one is that. Because we don't know which trees are good and which ones aren't, we're gonna eat from each one of them this year. Which ones are, the ones that are bad, we're gonna cut in half, probably 40%. No, it's warm out here. Anyhow, yeah, we got the mango, so all of them are producing. But what has happened is they weren't getting a lot of sun. All these mango trees weren't getting much sun. All of those back there are mango trees. Everything. It's about 30 some mango trees. They weren't getting sun, and it was actually 60 something mango trees. So because they weren't getting sun and they were so tight together, they was just shooting up to get to the sun, and they weren't producing any mangoes. And if you guys watch my old videos, you'll see how compact and how filled up that was with all those mango trees. And now that they're bearing mangoes, only thing you hear every couple days is the weight of the mangoes are cracking some of the branches. So just earlier, you probably can't see them from the video, but you can see There's a few big branches that have cracked and fell over all throughout because these trees weren't getting, I mean, they're tall now, and now they got all weight on them from the mangoes, and they're just cracking in half. It's weird, but it's expected now because I'm seeing they're tall trees. The mangoes are really heavy. There's a lot of mangoes on the trees, and that's just the reality of what's going to happen. Hopefully next year the mangoes will be a lot better because this year was really our first year being able to get them. I'm thankful for them. And that mango wasn't that sweet, but it wasn't that sour either. And I could use mangoes like that in my smoothies because dates are like a really good natural sweetener. So having mangoes that put in the smoothie with the dates, with the papaya, with the bananas, go ahead and mix that thing up, and you wouldn't even know that mango had a little tart. Some mangoes be tart when they're not ripe. Even some of the ripe ones, all of them aren't sweet. Most of them are sweet. Most mangoes do come sweet when they're ripe. So I don't even know what we're going to do with all those mangoes this year. A lot of them probably just hit the soil and just feed the soil, and then we'll take some for ourselves, of course. Okay, so now we're going to do the romaine lettuce. Yep, they remember me. So they got the heirloom. I'm going to put these over here. 2 seeds per hole, just to ensure that we can at least get one of them to germinate. It's a little windy out here. You know, the thing about gardening is it's almost like therapy. You guys know I be dealing with my mental health. This is like therapy for me. It's almost like meditation and being mindful and present all at the same time. It's like you're killing or you're bringing alive. I'm trying to take that killing 2 birds with 1 stone out of my vocabulary. We're not trying to kill anything except for the virus. But we brought alive 2 birds once with all of this, the mindfulness, the being present, the therapy. This is like a few different things in one here. When you're gardening and you're planting, and you can't rush this process, so you have to stay present. So I do my therapy on once a week. I do my meditation on my own, and then I do this stuff here, because I tell you, it stays racing, and sometimes it be thinking and it be self-defeating thoughts, which I have no reason to be thinking like that. But when you have years and years of trauma, and then you got fear is like one of those, oh my God, fear is one of the biggest it just hinders me so much. Like, what am I scared? What am I afraid of? But that's just how I've been programmed, and I don't even understand it. Someone on my last video, I can't remember the guy's name, he does comment pretty often, but he left a comment saying that, you know, I seem so knowledgeable and confident about. I appreciate the comment. I'm really not that knowledgeable about this stuff. I just started learning this stuff within the last few years, and really I've been learning on the job, through trial and error. To fail. Do not be afraid to fail. You plant some seeds, they don't come up, plant some more. Might have been the seeds, might not have been you. Okay, so we have half of that. Romaine lettuce. Love me some romaine lettuce. Love my salads. Love nice big salads. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumber. Got some cucumber under this table here that we just started. I'll show you guys that. This is the cucumber. This is our cucumber. Got to get that planted. I think we got some, I want to say this is watermelon, but I can't remember, either watermelon or squash. They all look the same, like the cucumbers, the squash, the zucchini, the watermelon. They all have a similar look. They might all be in the same family, to be honest with you. The watermelon and the squash and the cucumber, it's like, I can see the acorn squash, the zucchini and butternut squash having the same look. But the watermelon also has a similar look. And there's a couple of those under there. Got a transplant. I suppose I did those today. I'm not sure I have time. I'm sure I have time, but I don't know if I'll get to them. So right now, we're going to do the Swiss chard. Swiss chard, heirloom, year 1920s. These seeds are really bigger, and they're actually shaped like tiny stones. So we're going to do 1 per hole with these, because they're bigger. All right? And I can actually pick these up. I like chard. I used to get the red chard. I think this is just a regular green chard. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you could hit that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. I would like to get out into the algorithm a little more, so we can inspire people to start planting their own food. I mean, and fruit and trees. Fruit trees, but we get our oxygen from the trees. We should be planting more, especially with the way they saying global warming is taking over and just the way the planet is falling apart. All right. Okay. So that was the Swiss chard. The next one I hit it with the kale. But before we do that, we want to cover it up with some soil. Just a little bit, not a lot. You don't want to cover it up too much so your seeds won't come through. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A few grains of soil seeds to grow. Because we trying to eat in about 90 days. We trying to grab some, we trying to eat in 90. We up there getting busy. We got some chard up there getting busy as well. We got some lettuce up there getting busy. We got tomatoes up there. So we already got some stuff going, but nothing in abundance to where we could just eat every day from the garden. We working on that to where we can just grab something every day where we don't miss a day. And we have, you know, because once you clip them, what I like to see, how quickly they grow back, realize, and cut, and nip, and tuck, I planted some seeds a couple weeks ago, along with these, in the same trays. But what happened was one of the guys was telling me that I should put some of the, we don't have a lot of burn piles around here. And the burn piles, there's a lot of ash. And they say the ash is kind of good for the garden. Well, we use that mixture of ash with the soil to plant the seeds. And I think the ash was a little bit too much for the seeds, and none of them germinated, none of them. We planted some kale, we planted the chard, and we planted some lettuce. None of them germinated. So this time, I didn't put any ash in this. Hit it with a light mist,